What's good, y'all? Hope y'all doing marvelous as always, man. That's something I want to talk to y'all about, man. I feel like I should probably go ahead and address it too, but I'm gonna do it in a different way. So if you follow my channel for any length of time, then y'all already know that whatever you see in the title, that's what I'm gonna talk about. Y'all know I don't use clickbait titles. I do want to talk about the state of the fitness industry. For those of y'all that don't know, there's definitely a lot of channels involved in this one. But starting with a channel that I actually used to follow for a good amount of time, because I was interested, it had me hooked for a while, and I don't want to say anything bad about that. I'm gonna leave the other content creators to do that. But there's this channel, it's called Renaissance Periodization, and it's ran by Mike Israetel, right? And so, recently within the past week and a half or so, there was his Ph.D., right? The thesis that he, wrote, the dissertation that he wrote in order to receive his Ph.D. There's this other guy's, his name is Solomon Nelson, right? He got a hold of Mike Israetel's dissertation and he, just evaluated it and he picked it apart, essentially. There was a lot of mistakes in there, a lot of copy paste, the standard deviation tables, in certain parts of his paper. I know it was like, there was, he was, I guess, writing about something where, he was detailing like, people who were like negative, 1 point something years old, which essentially means somebody who has not yet been born. It was a lot of things that probably should have been caught. I didn't go as far as a PhD. I have my master's, but I didn't go as far as writing a thesis and a dissertation. And I honestly have no desire to do that. So, I won't have to worry about that part. But what I imagine is these are things that people should have caught. I guess there's a team usually, from what I understand, of people that work with you when you write a dissertation that are supposed to check after you and take a look at your work before it actually gets submitted, for final review. And some of the things that should have been caught just were not. I already named a few. Punctuation errors, things like that. Some of the things that we don't think are really that important in our daily lives definitely is important in a dissertation. So more importantly, what I want to talk about is what that it seems to have done for the state of the fitness industry, as we know it. Mike Israetel, among a few others, Jeff Nippard actually being another, who is also unfortunately getting called out by Solomon Nelson. It's a lot going on here. But Jeff Nippard, Mike Israetel, and a few others in that circle, they do science-based, that's the real word I'm looking for, is science-based fitness. And so, given everything that's been happening in the whirlwind of, Mike's dissertation and, Jeff Nippard now coming out and, I guess coming to Mike's defense, which has drawn eyes to a lot of other content creators, that's now been, I guess, the topic of, the fitness industry as of late. There are a lot of channels that are already covering all of that that's been going on. I'm not gonna add to it. What I want to do here is I want to come on and just kind of, I want to talk, about like when you guys watch content creators, I want y'all to, be mindful, even me, right? I like to think I put out great information. The information I put out is literally everything I learned in my, undergraduate program that I went through for my nutrition and wellness certificate. So everything that I give, if you follow my channel, most of what I give is basically nutrition, right? I give a lot of nutrition advice, some fitness, because of course there's intersectionality there, but what I don't do is, I'm not into the like science-based, fitness type stuff. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but, my knowledge, I guess I could say, just doesn't go that far. I talk about food for the most part. Anything fitness related, maybe, what you see in my shorts, right? In my fitness, if you look at my playlist, I have a fitness session playlist. So it's basically, that's just as far as I'll go when it comes to fitness. Anything that, I do personally, my workout routines, things like that, exercises. I may talk about some of the things that most of us may already know, or I guess I should say they should already know, perhaps. Obviously, I can't assume that everyone knows everything, but some of the things that I talk about when it comes to fitness is, proper execution, right? Proper form, eccentric, concentric movements, right? When to breathe and, stuff like that, I mean, how many sets to, like what's optimal for, whatever your goals are. That's what I may talk about. Anything that I talk about though, being, it's mostly nutrition related. Y'all have seen my videos so far, my whiteboard sessions. They're mostly nutrition. Proteins, fats, carbs, so all the macros. I made videos on micronutrients, fitness sessions, right, that I've had, like specifically whiteboard sessions that talk about fitness, talk about muscle fibers, getting started in fitness. So like if you, figuring out what to do, things like that. That's mostly what I talk about. And of course, there's my special sessions that are more related to me. If you're ever, I guess, concerned about who you're following or who you're listening to, I want to say that's a good thing. Okay, that's always a good thing, because you should always, I think that's something that, should come naturally to all of us. You should always double check who it is that you're following. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying anything about the people that I have mentioned in the past, right? The people I mentioned at the start of this video. So many other content creators are already, doing that. They got that covered. Trust me. And they're not hard to find. If you go on YouTube, if you search anything about Renaissance periodization or Mike Israetel and his dissertation or thesis or whatever, you will find so many content creators creating videos that, talk about anything from, of course, his dissertation being picked apart all the way down to why Dr. Mike shouldn't be the person to listen to when it comes to fitness advice. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that person. What I will say, of course, like I said, is, just be mindful, okay? Whoever it is that you're listening to, always double check. And yes, that even includes me. You know what I'm saying? I like to think I give out good info, but you can even double check me. I always say at the end of just about every video I make that if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, if there's something that I misspeak on, because, that can happen. If there's something I misspeak on or what have you, you can always feel free to put that in my comment section. I check them all the time. So, always be mindful, right? Double check after the people you're following. So far, I know one person that I can really guarantee y'all, will give you, the best advice and insight possible, based like time testing and things like that when it comes to fitness, nutrition and whatnot. He goes by Revival Fitness, okay? He goes by that handle. So if y'all look up Revival Fitness, y'all will thank me later. It was because of Mike Israetel thing that, I caught onto his channel. I haven't been watching him for too long, but once I got hold of him, once I got, wind of his channel, then, I started going back and just watching everything else, that he has put together. And so far, everything seems to, I can't really find anything that I disagree with, to be honest with you, and he's got real life experience like, me and some other people like us do, you know what I'm saying? There's, I don't do the whole, and neither does he really. I mean, maybe some videos, but, it's not constant. Like, it's not like, overwhelming, videos about like, whether or not a person is a fake natty or what have you. See, I don't do those type of contents either. I don't, that's not my content either. I'm not here to talk about like, fake natties and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's fake natties out there, which of course ties into, the whole state of the fitness industry. That's why I titled this video that, there are, of course, has come out that there's been some content creators, in the fitness industry, in the fitness realm, that, promote certain things, but, they're really on steroids or, what have you. Allegedly anyway, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna just say allegedly. So, it's, just be mindful and be careful who it is that you pay attention to. Okay, always double check. See, I was gonna put out my next whiteboard session, but given everything that's happened with Mike Israetel and the dissertation, and now Jeff Nippard is, he's in the line of fire now and stuff like that, and just to be clear, Mike Israetel, this is hardly his first time really being in the line of fire, so to speak. He's had, if you've watched any of these fitness content creators for a while, then Mike has had beef with Greg Doucette. He's also had beef with Lyle McDonald, right? And now Solomon Nelson, comes into play. I don't want to say beef, really. I don't know if that's really the right word to use. There's some rift here in the fitness industry. Most of what I put out is nutrition anyway. So, I don't talk about like steroids or anything like that. I've never taken a steroid in my life too. I feel, not that I've felt the need to say that, but, again, because of the state of the fitness industry and, how there's like all these fake natty videos going out, or is this person a fake natty, is that person a fake natty, you know, like, you know, people making these gains in like such a, you know, what seems like an impossible amount of time for a lot of people. And, you know, being told that they're telling folks, you know, like y'all and even myself that are listening and looking, hey, no, I didn't take steroids. But, you know, I mean, again, I can't speculate, and I'm not here to speculate. You know, I have one clear goal. Ever since I started my channel, I've always had one clear goal, and that was to make sure that y'all had the right info, okay? Now, I guess really anybody can claim that, but again, you know, that's why I said, you know, I welcome discourse. So if there's anything that, you know, and even I had a special session number 3, right? If y'all seen that one, that was based on a commenter who, you know, made a comment about my bench press in one of my chest fitness sessions, right? You know, I wasn't going all the way down, like, you know, execution, right? And this was also made at a time where I didn't know nearly as much then as I know now. So I wouldn't work out like that now. But I made a video just to show that, you know, even I'm not exempt from that type of criticism. So, you know, that's the type of stuff that you should be looking out for. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come out and just kind of make that video, you know, about the state of the fitness industry, given everything that's been going on. I swear, it's a whirlwind. I mean, I think we're at a point now where there are a lot of people who are even questioning, you know, a lot of content creators that even talk about fitness. You know what I'm saying? Their credibility is now questioned. People who have PhDs, those are really going to be the main targets. PhDs to even master's degrees, you know what I'm saying, things like that. And my master's degree doesn't even have anything to do with fitness, but still, you know, as far as dissertations go, you know, that's not something I'll ever have to worry about because I have no interest in going for a PhD. Either way though, you know, I was going to put out my next whiteboard session, and I had a special session that I wanted to put out too, but this had to come first. I had to push those back a couple. But I want to say again, you know, just be mindful. You know what I'm saying? As you're browsing content on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, even wherever platform you use, TikTok, as you browse different platforms, just, you know, keep your wits about you. Do your due diligence. You know, if somebody introduces themselves, you know, as doctor or what have you, and they have a PhD, you know, it doesn't take away from the hard work that they've done, but just know it may not always be credible, unfortunately. Those mistakes, you know, how people handle those mistakes though, that's what you want to be careful of. That's what you want to, you know, keep a close eye out for, you know. And the way, unfortunately, that Mike Israetel's been handling this, I'm not gonna say I can't say it's been the greatest. It's really only caused, like, the damage control that, you know, I guess him and his team have been doing is just kind of egregious, I'll say, you know, because there's been, like, again, so many content creators from Greg Doucette to Revival Fitness to even Zerk Fitness now, you know, coming out. He's a content creator I just started watching myself. And honestly, I came on to Zerk Fitness the same way I came on to Revival Fitness. It's coining it the Mike Israetel files. It's a lot going on. But I just wanted to come out and say that. It may get hard to pick out who's giving the best advice to you, but, you know, always ask questions, right? Always make sure that you're using critical thinking, okay? And I know, unfortunately, critical thinking skills seems like something that's few and far in between. This is something like, it's like a needle in a haystack now when it comes to people who've been taught it. But always use critical thinking, you know what I'm saying? If there's anything that doesn't sound right to you, you should never be afraid to ask questions, okay? And if you don't like the answer that you get from one person, or if something sounds off, you know, then keep asking around, you know, until you find someone or something, some works cited or what have you, that is credible, okay? That's what you should always do. You know, never, I don't want to say never take what you see at face value, right? I mean, you know, do that, but again, if you have concerns, always double check, right? I mean, I think many of us, we went through school already, you know, not even just, you know, college, I'm talking about high school, where, you know, you learn how to write a paper, you learn about works cited, you know what I'm saying? You learn how to cite your sources, and you learn that, you know, certain sources are credible and valid, and others are not, you know what I'm saying? So just, you know, keep that in mind as we go forward, because going forward, I don't really know what's gonna happen with the fitness industry, and, like, well, as far as what's been going on these, you know, YouTube streets, so to speak. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I don't really know what this whirlwind is going to bring us. you know, I'm gonna keep making my content, and I thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying? I thank all y'all, everyone who has subscribed so far. You know, I thank you very much. I have a clear goal, and I'm gonna focus on that. And, you know, hopefully, you know, y'all will stay with me. Hopefully y'all will be with me for the long haul. And if not, you know, I mean, I guess I could say I understand, because, you know, there's people out there that are just ruining it for you. I mean, you know, that's with anything in life, right? You know, I'm gonna keep giving y'all, you know, my insights and things like that. And you know, when that time comes in a video where I make a video that I have to cite something, best believe I'll always have my sources at the ready. So, you know, y'all can double check, you know what I'm saying, and see for yourself. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all day, whatever time it is and wherever y'all are. And y'all take care. I'll see y'all on my next video. Peace.